Continuing. Okay, now things that I'm more specifically qualified to talk about, let's say that, as a therapist. Anxiety. On this trip, we met a few anxious people. Anxious about all sorts of things, but mostly personally anxious. And as we do, we're walking for quite a long time and we discuss things. And one thing we discussed was the nature of anxiety and some ways of working with it. So this is just a little snippet video thing about how one can work better with anxiety. I've got my purple book here just to remind me, because my brain's not functioning. I'm on holiday, so complete mental breakdown. So you'll have to bear with me. I will repeat myself a million times because brain leaking out of here. Anyway, so in order to overcome anxiety, you need certain things. There's a whole bunch of things, but I'm not going to go through all of them, but just specifically I'm going to go through two things, yes. You need to stop saying yes for one thing, as if the person you're talking to can reply. It's a camera. You need consistency and reliability. You yourself as an individual need to be consistent and reliable, okay? You need to basically be the person who's looking after you, because if you're not looking after you appropriately, properly, you are unreliable, you are with yourself 24 hours a day, and that's going to create anxiety for anybody. Basically, if the person you're with doesn't put you first, care for you, love you, look after you, and isn't consistent with what you want, what you need, isn't reliable in getting you what you want, what you need, then you're going to be anxious. That's it, really. So if you find yourself, for example, in a situation with a person, a friend, or even in a hotel or a restaurant, you need to be able to say what you want and not be obliged by others to do or have or eat or be something you don't want. You need to be able to say, right, this is what I want, and stick with it. It doesn't mean that it has to be a fixed thing. Life's dynamic, we're human beings are dynamic, things change, this is fine. But in this moment, if, I don't want to go down this road and I want to go down this road and someone's telling me to go down this road, if I go down the road I don't want to go down, this is me being unreliable. If I do a thing I don't want to do, it is being unreliable and it creates anxiety. You may believe that you're doing that thing for the sake of another person. You're a little bit of a martyr or something like that. So you're sacrificing yourself for someone else. Don't. You're actually just sacrificing yourself for your anxiety. You're just upholding your anxiety. That when you do that, you're maintaining your anxious state. It's part of your psychology. So if I say I keep, sacrificing myself for my friends, I'm always the person that does this, or I'm always the person that does that, despite the fact that I don't really want to, but I do it, well, I'm doing it because I'm hoping that they will do something for me. So I'm doing it for me, yes, but it creates anxiety. Because while I'm doing it for me to get something I want, I'm doing it indirectly. I'm trying to get something indirectly. I could give the thing directly to myself. Yeah, so for example, I could say, I could love and care for myself. But what I don't do is I don't do that. Instead, I'm kind to others and generous to others, and I'm a martyr to them, yes, hoping that they will be loving and caring towards me. But they never are. So I'm always then just sacrificing myself. I'm always the last person that's thought of. I'm always on the back foot. And that creates anxiety because we need to be looked after. We need to be cared for. And the person that needs to do that is you. You need to look after yourself. You need to be reliable. You need to care for you. Because if you're not doing that, no one else will. Sacrificing yourself, hoping that someone else will, that won't do it. Manipulating others to do it for you, that won't do it either, because if you manipulate others to do it, you know they're not doing it willingly. And if they're not doing it willingly, you don't get that sense of care. So again, it's going to leave you feeling anxious and uncared for. Yeah, your anxiety comes out of a sense of being destabilized. You need stability, and the stability comes from you consistently looking after you, looking out for you, caring for you, wanting what's best for you. That's not to say that you're cruel to others and vicious towards others. It's not that. It's you caring for you. So, someone says to you, I don't know, eat this, a parent or a friend or whatever, and you really don't want to eat it, yeah? So they say, eat this cake, I made you cake. Now, they've made you cake. They haven't really. What they've done is they've made cake for you to eat. They're going to oblige you to eat it. They're going to manipulate you to eat it, yes? And then when you've eaten it, they want something in return, which is praise, a stroke, something. Okay, so this is about them. They've done you no favour. That's about them. So, do you eat the cake or not? You don't want the cake. Yes, it's filled with calories that you don't want. It's something you don't like the taste of. I don't know, whatever. You don't want the cake. So, you need to say no thank you. If you eat the cake, what you're doing is you're sacrificing yourself for them, and they've sacrificed themselves for you. It gets all distorted. It's a nonsense. Yes, don't eat the cake. When they offer you the cake, you can say, oh, you can pay them a compliment. There's no problem with that. You can say, oh, that looks like a very, very nice cake. Yes, oh, chocolate, lovely, that looks really, really nice. And they say, have a piece. And you say, do you know what? It looks lovely, but I'm going to give that a miss. I really don't want any. And they say, no, go on, have, no. You just say no, you pay them a compliment, and then you say, thank you, but no, I'm not today. And if they stick it on a plate, as some people do, yes, you don't eat it, you leave it. And they say to you, oh, I put some on the plate for you, aren't you going to eat it? You say, no, thank you. Yes, it looks like very, very nice cake, but I don't want any today. That's it. And that moment of consistency, yeah, creates a strength in you. Yeah. That's all that does. It creates a set of strength in you. It creates reliability. And in your mind, you become a reliable person. So when things start to go badly, let's say in your life, you are the reliable person in your life. Isn't that amazing? When things go wrong, you can then turn to you. No need to be anxious, because you look after you. Things go wrong, someone's passive aggressive or aggressive towards you, who do you turn to? Yourself. You can say to that person, no, thank you. Actually, do you know what? You, me, we're not getting on that boat, thank you. Not travelling down that road with you, not interested. You don't have to be aggressive back. You don't have to lose control. You can just say, actually, I don't want to be involved in that. Thank you, but no. That's it. And that act creates stability for you, and your anxiety will then diminish. Each time you are reliable, each time you create stability for yourself, your anxiety will diminish. This is about self-care. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Sacrificing yourself for others doesn't give you anything. If you want to help others, this is fine. Yes, but decide that you're doing it because you want to do it. So if you, I don't know, help an old lady, I'll tell you a story. When we were walking out of Porto, I mentioned in a previous video that something happened with an old lady, and I'll explain that now, okay? Walking along, this is about consistency. Walking along out of Porto, we passed an old lady, and she had one shoe on and one shoe off. Okay, and she had one of those aluminium walking stick things with a sort of a arm support on it, hospital looking thing. Anyway, we passed her, one shoe on, one shoe off, and I thought this was a little strange. So I looked back and I noticed that she was carrying one of her shoes. Okay, now, consistency with myself. If I had ignored that, if I had just walked away, it would have bothered me. Okay, it would have bothered me because in my character, I'm not saying everybody's character, but for myself, being consistent with me, in that situation, I would have helped her. So not helping her is inconsistent with my character. And then I would have walked away and it would have bothered me, and that inconsistency is not healthy for me. So I went back, yes, it hadn't passed far, yes. I went back and I asked her whether she wanted me to help her put a shoe on. Okay, now, old lady speaking Portuguese, English person speaking no other language than English, sorry. So there was this weird attempted conversation and she didn't say much. So basically, I assaulted a little old lady and put a shoe on her foot, okay? Whether she actually wanted her shoe put on her foot, I'll never really know. But anyway, so I put the shoe on the lady's foot. Yes, little old lady, she must have been about, I don't know, 4'5", 4'6", you know. I'm nearly 6 foot tall, so I don't know whether I frightened her. I had a big pack on my back. Ooh, scary. But anyway, I put the shoe on her foot, okay? And while she was standing up, I didn't sort of wrestle her to the ground, yes, sort of put her in an arm lock or anything like that. While she was standing up, I kind of propped her a little bit and got her shoe on and did it up for her and all of that, yes. And she seemed happier. She may not have been happy, yes. A local person walked past and looked and smiled, so I thought, well, that's an indicator that this is okay. I wasn't certain. So, yes, I mugged an old lady and put a shoe on her foot. So, but I did so, not for her. I did her no favour. That wasn't an act of kindness or anything. It was an act of consistency with who I am. Yeah, you know, I don't want plaudits or thanks. That's not what this is about. It's not, oh, Carlos is such a lovely man. It's not that. Some things I just are consistent with my character. So being consistent is important. It's really, 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 really important. If you can work out who you are and the way you wish to behave, then be consistent with that. That's not to say that it has to remain static. As I said, you're dynamic, you're a human being, you can change, yes, but be consistent. That makes you reliable as well. Okay? So that's all this is about. Consistency and reliability, yes. Avoid being caught up in the obligations of others and all that sort of thing. What else did I say? Blah, 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 blah. I'm just reading my notes just to make sure I haven't missed anything out. Yeah, that's it. Simple as that. That's it. Okay? Be you. Be consistent. Say no. You don't have to be aggressive to say no. You just have to be skillful to say no. Say no in a nice way. Pay a compliment, then say no. Be definite. Say no. No is powerful. No gives you strength. No gives strength to your yes. If you always say yes, your yes means nothing. You have to have the ability to say no if you're going to say yes. So yes and no, two very powerful words. Use them carefully. If you want to say no. Okay? That's it. That's the little thing on anxiety. There's loads more on anxiety that I could go on for. You know, I'm a therapist, whatever. But this particular one, yeah, be consistent. Ta-ta for now. Wrestle the camera.